that what he's doing? Oh, great. Terrific.
Yalla, infidels. Here we are where we can say what we want to say. Ain't nothing to it. Gets to rap into it as we pass the heat on the Ice Cube. It doesn't matter. We're going to keep it cool here tonight. Maybe wake up and take a nap. I could definitely use some sleep. We got a special guest tonight, Bobby Sausalito at Take Naps from Instagram joining us, waiting for the GGP run-in. But you know we're three strong. Big Stevie Cool, Salah, Hacker Hameen here on the Conspiracy Horseman. Yalla! Yeah, man, I see the chat room filling up, 21 strong already. Blackjacking on them, and Double A Andresen's in there. Hooked us up with our guest for tonight, who should be here in about 15 minutes, hopefully. Send him the link. GGP probably getting a dinner in here, doing a thing or two with a broad or three, and I'm sure he'll be here soon. But, man, good to be back here on a Wednesday night with you guys, ready to, I don't know, try and get some semblance of normalcy, but another week of, like, executive orders of madness just to, make you take that shot of bleach to the head, man. So we'll break it all down like we have been, and I got a cool story and a guy we're gonna maybe track down. I can't wait to put a manhunt out here and see what the Conspiracy Horsemen have to say about it. But he's back, he's ready for demolition, he's got the charges set. All we got to do is say pull it, and it's all coming down with his new Dynamite microphone. Dynamite is back in the house. Stevie Cool, how you doing, man?
Doing great. Had a very interesting call with the producers from Vice for Dark Side of the Ring today, and I thought they had the wrong number. Dark Side, when you're starting light side of the ring, that's when you should probably call me. This is not my wheelhouse. Of course, I said, well, maybe I'll just rib them and have them call Sal at the wrong time and have them cut a promo on them. Like, what are you cunts doing calling me? I'm busy.
Yeah, and more TV producers who are clueless, who are just out there to try and sycophantically leech off of those who can do because they can't do. But I think we may have a Conspiracy Horseman episode for a pilot, going forward as everything progresses. I'll kind of lay it out here in a minute. But first, I want to say what's up to this handsome devil. Straight out of the Bowery. He's got some payments to collect, and he's been intimidating people all day for the shakedown. It's Big Salah. How's it going, bro?
Good. I just want to make sure everybody understands, if you hear this weird clicking, grinding, chomp, chomp, chomp noise, it's not Stevie's mic. The dog has a bone, right? You can hear it. He's destroying a knuckle bone behind me. So.
That mic you got is really good. It picks up that bone chomp in the background.
Right. And these are just headphones. These are dollar store headphones. Look, these aren't even iPod. These are shit dollar store headphones. So,
and they sound that good.
They sound this good. I just don't want you guys to blame Stevie's mic, because it's a brand new mic that he has, and it sounds awesome.
Stevie is
that's the second time someone's tried to guilt me into something today. Did you know I got a lecture on ethics today from the Vice producer too, Sal? Morals and ethics.
Really? See, to me, that's pretty amazing when the people from Vice start giving you moral ethics.
Yeah. The favorite part was when she said, I'm sure you're really familiar with our shows. And I was like, well, I watched a few. I go, they're really feel good stories with happy endings, right? 100%. My wife popped. And she's like, well, no, that's not what it is. Yeah. So
just don't get it.
People are in charge of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, that's again, oh man, tell them to do that. There was the only good show they had on there was the one with coffee. There was a guy who used to follow this thing for coffee, and he almost got killed by gorillas. Not the cool kind of gorillas like the Sandinistans. They almost killed him because he was in their coffee field.
Yeah, coffee. That's the Sandinistas are always worried about their coffee. Oh man, but I had some coffee right before I came on here. The Broasters official Vince Russo Bro coffee. Go over to thebrosters.com, check it out. A couple people order this week, so I'm sure you're going to be enjoying it soon and be bright-eyed as I am, even though I feel like I'm sleepwalking through it right now, man. Just no days off, and you guys know how hard we're working on all these brands to launch and get off the ground, and the executive production staff is just killing it. Stevie actually sent probably the best email, or excuse me, the best video today via email about how to write the amazing email, as we, get products to test out. Stevie gets mics, everything from fitness equipment
They're
to
always
battle
stuck up in
boxes and
defective, too.
more.
They never work.
Beer. They always send them the broken ones. But yeah, man, just put that up on the Hameen Media Group, Culture Vulture, and Marketing tier. So you guys can check that out on how to write the amazing email. If you're interested in knowing how we do it, you know how we do it. You can get the inside secrets on that, man. So I appreciate that, Stevie, putting that piece together, man.
Oh, no problem. Next will be ethics and morals, since the lessons I was taught today, I'm going to pass along. They're very valuable lessons. It's never going to get old. This was such an entertaining phone call full of material. I just can't get past it. I need to tell Sal about this when we're off the air. The blow-by-blow analysis, which you enjoyed earlier.
It just doesn't stop. I mean, these people who, I don't know how they get to this point that they're the decision makers, because every step of the way we deal with them, it's just incompetence upon incompetence, really. So, somebody who's not incompetent, I wanted to talk about the story before our guest comes on, even though we only got about 9 minutes. I sent to the Horseman chat earlier, and this has been out for a minute. But the Navy UFO patent document talks of space-time modification weapon detailing experimental testing. And this comes from Dr. Salvatore Cesar Pais, I believe, P-A-I-S, an enigmatic aerospace engineer who works for the U.S. Navy. The warzone.com has just obtained a wide range of documents detailing the experiments of the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division, NAWCAD, conducted to test the core concepts of technologies underlying his seemingly out-of-this-world UFO patents. These were the same patents were vouched for by the head of the Navy's aerospace research enterprise, who cited Chinese advances in similar technologies as the reason why the Navy was filing them. And we saw these, you guys, what was it, maybe 3-4 months ago, where it was all of the different aircraft from the Triangle to the Tic Tac one, and it kind of looked like some type of propulsion system schematics. Well, this is the guy who's behind it, and he is one of the things they said he can do is bend space-time for a weapon, and it said that it would literally make the hydrogen bomb look like a firecracker compared to the technology that this is supposed to be, man. So I just went down the rabbit hole for 15 minutes in between doing graphics, and I brought up the patents for those, whatever they are, supposed spaceships. And it says right at the top where they were filed in Leonard, Maryland. I do a quick search of this guy's name and how many, it's a pretty unique name. 7 miles from where the patent was filed. Got his phone number, his home address, his Google Street Maps, bro. Like, Chinese can come nab this guy anytime they want to. So I think it's up to the Conspiracy Horseman to reach out, because I saw these articles, but there's nothing of him on video.
Should have Stevie have the vice producers call him.
Just have him shout out. But dude, this guy's got all kinds of, low gravity field technology. I mean, what he'd even, he's creating his own gravity fields and bending them around things, all energy weapons based on different physics theories that obviously the Navy's putting in millions of dollars to. So pretty interesting, but I think, should be able to get to him in the next week in some way, just to either get a yay or a nay on that. But pretty interesting new technology, and then that stooged off. So I don't know where we're going with it, but it's
I'll tell you this in comparison. When we talk about money and millions of dollars, they sent $8 million to Pakistan for gender studies. So it's not the same kind of money. Millions in our mind is not millions in their mind.
Well, this is him kind of as the home laboratory guy, and he worked in the naval labs and stuff like that as they back his projects. But this is a home scientist, physicist doing this kind of stuff, coming up with theoretical energy weapons, propulsion systems. All of this is in there. And the stories dropped today, and they pretty much all back it of like, yeah, this is the real shit and where we're going in the next 6 years. But speaking of the real, so the real, he's here. He's got the animanium ready to get the claws out. How's it going? Good to see you, buddy.
Doing well. How's everybody?
Good, man. Just waiting on our guest here take naps. I'm not sure if you guys have to see any of his promos or not, but definitely an influencer on the rise as far as, you know, the side of thought that we're trying to promote. You know, just get over. What are you laughing? Kong in the mic or what?
Seconds on, I already blown the spot.
Yeah, well, why start off?
I think we should bring this up because it's probably going to be kind of in line with what he talks about.
Mhm.
The My Pillow CEO now being banned from Twitter, now being pretty much unpersoned, taken out of a bunch of different stores like Bed Bath and Beyond, Kohl's, other stuff like that, and people celebrating this, saying, "Well, you shouldn't have spread disinformation. That's what you get." And it's just like, I go back to the poem, which you guys say isn't a poem. They're going to run out of people on that side, and then they're just going to eat it. They already turn on themselves plenty, right, Ben? We've talked about this. When they have nobody left, they're going to turn on each other.
Yeah,
they're not going to know what to do.
I mean, they've already seen. Like, when is it started? It started the first 48 hours. You want to talk about Justin Trudeau towing the NWO line and all the SJW line and shutting down his own country just like that, and UBI and everything that falls in line with what they want to do. And that's like back in the Biden-Obama camp, right? And then Biden day one F's them over on the pipeline where they all get their free money checks based on.
Clap for that, you stupid bastard.
Pretty much.
And now they're fucked. And the companies that are going to be using the railways to move all this new pipeline and redo it, do you believe that the Bidens are invested in it, and the Clintons and everybody? And I wouldn't doubt the people on the right side as well, man. So day one, we're back to the fucking plan, dude. And, you know, once our guest comes on, I'm sure we'll talk about the new Secretary of Health administrator and just all the firsts, man. It took 1 week to really like forget about the people and what's important. We got to get these new era thought things through, because we owe people who backed us for that, man. It's just a really like watch them tear themselves down, dude. And instead of putting the right people in the right spots, it's either affirmative action hires or lobbyist hires. The head of Monsanto is now, what is the head of the FDA?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, man. Where are we with this?
Well, I was going to say, that's why I'd like to announce to everybody big news, besides the fact that I will not be on the dark side of the ring. I'd like to announce my FDRblanket.com. I will be selling my FDR blankets to replace my pillows in Bed Bath & Beyond and Kohl's. So
Just clap for that, you stupid bastard.
my plan is working. My great reset of home products is working.
Yeah, the great reset. I mean, that's what we're talking about, really, you know, this whole month. And to see them, you know, put the pedal to the metal here, Sal, and really push through just some insane things where, you know, and let's talk about the Bernie mittens meme craze. Isn't that just a distraction spot to get away from all of this of like the week one signings? And didn't they make the algorithm a lot more than anything else did?
Well, now that's our cookie. That's our, was it Stevie says all the, what's it, breads and circuses.
Yeah.
That's what we got now. We got the little Bernie memes, so it's all fun. We get to have fun with Bernie memes everywhere. And now people are sick of the Bernie memes. So now
Bernie
they get
memes everywhere. People pissing on the stairs. Just don't
now
care.
they get to be mad about it. They get to be mad about the Bernie memes. So now they can go, I've seriously had enough. Grow up, people. Like, okay, sure. All right, sure. Sorry, guys. Sorry, fun's over. They've called it.
Do you know what the biggest rib on the Bernie mittens are? The lady who had the business that made the mittens went out of business because the taxes were too high.
All right.
Great, bro. And I mean, it's all going to be of the vicious cycle of how they keep tearing it down, because there's nothing to help reopen with small business or any of that line. Who's getting the breaks? Only the big boys at this time, you know? And there's crazy stuff going on with Reddit. GGP, I'm not sure if you've been following that today with the GameStop. I figured you probably had been, man.
It's ridiculous. You know, the hedge fund guys getting caught with their pants down because they're illegally shorting the stock in excess amounts where they're not allowed to. And then all these Reddit users who I guess, who knows who they are? I have no idea. They all came together and they all bought the stock and they caused this buzz around certain stocks. And what was it? The GameStop went from like $20, $30, $40 a share to $350 at one point per share. Same thing with AMC, which was like $2 a couple of weeks ago. It's trading around 20 right now. Bed Bath and Beyond, another one. So there's a couple of things that, and now they're getting pissed. They're asking for a bailout because Friday is the margin call, and if they have to pay all their margins out, they're gonna have to pay like billions of dollars. And they're asking the government for a bailout, and they're saying what the Reddit users did is illegal, which is it really isn't. People just bought stocks, you know, they just came together. So that's where we're at.
It's got to be an inside leak from the hedge fund managers into the Redditors who's got a brother who wants to do that. And they're just like, F the market. This bubble's ridiculous. We're going to play it. And now they're just look for smaller stocks where they're all going to jump on it until they have to make the call. And of course, we're going to do a bailout. If we bail out Ford, if we bail out the banks, we're going to bail out Wall Street once again, man. And, then is there going to be another Occupy movement based on it all? But a guy who's occupying space with us tonight, man, we're appreciative to have him. He's fresh off of a nap. He looks awake and ready to go, man. A great performer, monologist, and satirist. It's Bobby Sausalito. Welcome to the Conspiracy Horseman, buddy.
Thank you so much. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Wow, your mic sounds awesome.
Nice. Thank you.
Inside rib.
You'll get tired of that joke by the end of the show, Bobby.
Why does it sound like shit?
I need to explain it to him. Let's not give him out of the inside.
Stevie Richards is a psychopath for audio, and he has tested over 1,000 mics that every one of them sound phenomenal, and he sounds good on them all, but he ends up hating them all within a 48-hour period and switches to another microphone. So anybody who has any microphone is always going to sound better than Stevie Richards.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have a Rode. It's actually brand new. I just started using it yesterday.
Excellent, man. We're actually Team Road over here. Stevie's done a lot of influence for them, and I was talking to them yesterday, and they're sending us 2 Rodecaster Pros for our executive producers. So very big shout out to Rode, man. Big shout out to them.
Awesome.
But welcome, dude. You've been blowing up on Instagram. Really interesting stuff. I'm not sure how familiar you were able to get with us, but you're with 4 pro wrestlers tonight who believe everything is a work, and because it's our job to fool the world. And we break things down from that aspect of being workers, and we see how bad the politicians are at it sometimes. And it gives us a unique perspective. And I'm also a professional improviser, and I believe that satire and parody is the strongest weapon of all media, and you have become a master of that.
Thank you. I'm doing the best that I can, for sure.
So give us a little id behind at Take. It's Take Naps, right?
That's right. So I mean, basically, like the 1 minute is I'm a web developer. I've been an internet entrepreneur for 13 years, and 4 months ago I started making comedy videos about politics, as I was just frustrated by how ridiculous everything was, and I just happened to have one that kind of blew up overnight, and I figured, hey, I'll make a video every day now till the election and see what happens. And now there's about 50,000 between Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And now it's like basically my full-time job.
It's crazy how quick it catches on, man. And you're just a content creator, and it doesn't stop. So congratulations on that, on catching fire and using a negative time to bring people together and use social media as a way to do more than just create a meme. You know what I mean? What's that doing? I really enjoy. We all do. The guy who's doing the Bob Ross type paintings as well. John Burke. Thank you. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but another great use of satire and parody and nostalgia kind of mixed, obviously, with that. So I really am enjoying the fact that people, because coming from improv and seeing a lot of my Chicago friends who are on HBO and do this stuff, dude, they're totally in the bubble and in the machine, like towing a line that's insane. And when I know they want open thought to be able to perform with no boundaries, they're so far left just hoping to get a job on an NBC show writing that they're towing a line that is completely insane. They drum themselves out of their own theaters at Second City and Improv Olympic. Now they have no place to perform, but they pat themselves on the back for being woke. Like the hypocrisy and double standard is insane right now.
I know, and it's kind of funny because people since the beginning, they're like, man, you got to get a show, you got to be on a show, and I'm like, this is the show. Nobody tells me what the hell to do. No one's gonna cancel me. And like, yeah, I don't have like big ad budgets coming at me yet, but it's just like I'm completely uninhibited, and that's kind of the magic of it, is that nobody's chirping in my ear like, such and such as an advertiser, you can't really say that. And even though in some cases you are free, it's like you're kind of not. Like sometimes they don't have to tell you to keep you inside a box, and I'm glad that I'm free of that right now, and I think that that's kind of just a little bit of the magic of it.
Have you faced any online censorship? Right now we're booted off Twitch and we're on shadow ban on a couple things.
Well, I've definitely been told several times that I've been kind of shadow banned a little bit on Instagram and on Facebook at different times, but I find that it changes depending on kind of how hot things are. Like right leading up to the election, a lot of that stuff was happening, but it's hard to really tell. Sometimes people will message you and they'll be like, my Instagram crashed, like you're getting banned, and it's just the app on their phone. So I don't really know for sure, but I do know that if you talk about certain things on Instagram, you can almost like instantly see downfalls in your viewership, like immediately. Like one time I pushed the whole, I had reposted something about the child, traffic in the street, whatever. I kind of dance around things, and I saw my numbers go down like immediately. Like the next 24 hours, they were all down. And like, I didn't even say anything. All I did was repost something that was like, hey, we should all be against this. Well,
this goes right into what Stevie was talking about before you came on, and the My Pillow CEO, as well as our own wrestling amigo Val Venus, who posted pictures of Biden with the young girl, like taking it from the Chinese Reddit threads and putting it out there because nobody really is. Yeah. And then it gets reported, or another thing gets reported, says this doesn't go against Twitter guidelines. It doesn't go against Twitter guidelines for somebody else, but this guy gets unpersoned. 1984. Stevie, why don't you cut the promo?
Yeah, I think the contradiction obviously is the fact that Val was bringing light to something. He wasn't advertising it, but then the actual thing that promotes the child porn, it doesn't violate Twitter policies, just like certain people who promote freedom of speech and other things or whatever they want that we're supposed to have under the Constitution gets banned. But then people who legitimately say from terrorist nations, kill people, doesn't violate Twitter policies. As pro wrestlers, being in the locker room, dealing with the office and promoters, we're like, something's up. If you're suppressing or keeping somebody down, there's obviously some truth to what they're saying.
Yep. Sally, I see you are on the edge of your seat. Jump on it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's we were talking about that today. I sent you guys a thing. Everybody, they're trying to protect everybody else. That's what the flag they're waving. They're protecting us from these awful people. And just again, like the goofy little thing I sent you guys today, Facebook, a friend of mine posted a cosplay weapon, a sword that's made of foam, and it was removed because we do not sell weapons on Facebook. Meanwhile, there was an ad on the marketplace for somebody selling nunchucks from.
I could buy a compound bow right now from a guy 4 blocks away from me, bro.
Right, but they banned his. They took his ad down for his cosplay weapon that he made because he did a foam thing, and it's made of foam. It says on the top, foam cosplay weapon. So that's banned because we're protecting you. We're making sure everybody is safe because we don't want them to get hurt with foam weapons. But if there's some guy on Twitter talking about, well, we just killed a bunch of people because, well, I don't agree with them. They're allowed to, but make sure you get to pick and choose who you are inclusive with. You got to pick and choose who you get to, who's the bad guy. and whoever you say is the bad guy obviously is the bad guy. Do not ever go against what I say, or you'll be banned as well. So everybody's cool with that, though, because you know what? Trump's out of office.
But I just wanted to bring up a bigger point that your mic was crackling just now. So I just think you should
was it crackling, or was it your headphones? Your headphones might be a little weird.
I need to. Bobby, get them.
Your cans. I don't know, man.
Oh God. Yeah, no, that is absolutely true. I watched. I was just watching this interview the other day of I think it was Jack from Twitter and their head of global policy or whatever talking to Joe Rogan and Tim Pool was on there. And this guy's like a really well spoken guy, and Tim Pool was like really hitting her with the facts. And it's just like the ability for these people to dance around and use very colorful and feathery language to kind of like distract you from what is actually occurring is remarkable. Because when you watch it, they're like very calm and they got an answer for everything. And Tim Pool's like, no, but you didn't do that. And they're just like, like we'll work on that. Like, let me get back to you on that. And it's like, no, like this is it. You knew what this was. You're here. It's sad because for anybody to really understand, you have to spend a lot of time investing your attention into finding this stuff out. And it's like, it's just so much time and it's so time consuming. And it's just like, at the end of the day, people are like, I'm just going to live my life. And meanwhile, all this shit keeps happening. And it's like, right. When you get banned from the fucking town square, it's like, that's the town square. That's it.
They wear them out to the end. They wear us out to the end. So they throw their hands up and you just want something mindless to go watch the Grizzlies so you can judge an effeminate gay man where he has a family. Like, so, I mean, like, I feel better than that. So like, it's just, they just tear you down so they can keep getting away with their dirt at the end of the day and stacking more millions, more money from whatever special interest group that they're taking. But it gets found out later by the small core collective of us who aren't worn out, who are seeing the big Agenda 21, the big reset picture, the 2045 transhumanist movement, all the things that we've been watching since 9/11, since JFK, if you want to go back, Yeah. And we aren't giving up. We never will. But it seems now even Sal, who has to deal with the mommy core crowd, they're switching from, Desperation Island or whatever the frig it is to talking about this type of stuff that we've been talking about for the last decade, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even like that's one of the things where it used to be, after this, when it was clear that there was going to be no long game bomb drop.
Yeah. No QAnon bullshit.
Yeah, no QAnon, no nothing. It was like, honestly, you hear these moms who sit around and they were getting pissed. They were talking about now also you found out who had guns, because all of them were like, well, I know I'm glad I stocked up on ammo. I'm glad I have that. And you're like, whoa, ladies. Like, seriously. You really?
You got to get this out of the way. Bobby, are you Q?
Am I Q?
Yeah.
I might be.
Okay, good. Well, at least we're one step closer. GGP.
Trust the plan, bro. Trust the plan.
It wasn't a no. It was not a no. So.
Trust the plan. Trust the man. Greek guy.
I made a Shopify. I made a shirt on Shopify that said "Trust the plan, bro." Because I did a live stream because all these people were sending me this crazy shit. They're like, "Yo, Pompeo's gonna come in on a Black Hawk and like rappel down with Donnie, and they're gonna like ring him up and like throw Pelosi in the gulag." I'm like, "Yo, this is the most insane shit ever." So I did this live stream and I made "Trust the Plan, Bro" shirts. And Shopify emailed me and removed all of my "Trust the Plan, Bro" products and said, "This is a QAnon conspiracy." And I'm like, I'm just writing "Trust the Plan, Bro." It's like, first of all, I'm being satirical. I'm making fun of it.
Yeah.
And secondly, what, all plans, every plan is illegal now? Trusting any plan? I don't know.
That's straight 1984 Ministry of Disinformation of rewriting words. We're going to get into the double speak where we can't even put certain words together, and it's an offense. GGP, go for it, man.
This whole situation that we're in right now is just one big cluster muck. At the end of the day, unfortunately, we're in the scenario where people don't want to think freely. People just want to go about their business. They don't want to do anything because of it, because of the inconvenience and the opportunity of having technology on their hands where everything can be given to them in an instant. So now, in case they have to work for something for more than 5 seconds, they don't want to do it. So what are they going to do? They don't read anymore. They don't read articles. They don't do research. They read headlines. They listen to sound clips that are taken out of context, and they automatically off the top of their heads, make their assumptions, make their impressions that last. And when you come to them with facts, they turn a blind eye. Nah, it's preposterous. Meanwhile, you're hitting them in the head 20 different times with 20 different factual statistics or scenarios or articles that we bring to the table, and everyone's like, nah, I don't know about that. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Sometimes I want just Planet X to be true, to come down here and take us all out, and we'll all be in a better place, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Well, you can't say that because now you're racist. You're xenophobic because you said it. You said something with truth. Therefore, you're a racist.
Well, you know what, dude? I'm not a racist. I hate everybody equally. So I mean,
he can't be xenophobic. He wants the aliens to come.
He's sexist, xenophobic, anti-alien, anti-freedom,
Yeah.
racist.
Well, and anti-Xenu, so he's also anti-Scientology as well. So he's all in there.
A men and A women to that.
How dare you? How dare you?
So I have a question, Bobby. Now what Papadon just said, when you're using reason, you're using all these other things of facts and just trying to, if you have that one question, we need to investigate it because something doesn't add up. You using satire on Instagram and social media, are people more receptive, or are they more visceral towards that? Because you're not only hitting them with facts, you're also making fun of the things at the same time.
I think, interestingly enough, because I'm not delivering it in a way that's very like, this is the news and it is this way, I feel like people that even disagree with me are more receptive to it. And I probably receive a disproportionately lower amount of hate than I would if I was just delivering it like direct news. I've had a bunch of people actually repost my stuff and say, I really don't agree with everything that you're saying, but this is funny. Like you're calling Joe Biden like Joey Amtrak, Joey Marionette, or like whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
And they're enjoying it despite that. And that's kind of the thing that's like, I'm trying to just kind of like color in between the lines and not get clapped, as I say, and not have them just fucking remove me, because I can't do anything if they just cut me out of the conversation. So I try to give some creative spin on it. And in addition to that, I use a lot of creative words to stay out of the crosshairs, and people that really already know, it's just kind of like reaffirming the thoughts they already had. They're not coming to me for just news. They're coming to me for like a funny spin on what they kind of like already know.
And understanding this, so let me just understand this in the way society is today. What you're talking about by being creative and offering creativity through satire is the fact that you're spreading racism.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
It's because I have white privilege and I can't be trusted, and I'm white, so therefore.
Well, your tiles behind you are white, so obviously that just says the whole story right there.
Exactly. I could have chose black.
The monitors don't offset it. Don't try to trick us with that one black hat.
Yeah. Those are a hologram. That's a hologram. The monitors.
I mean, your style is very interesting too. You come at them with like oozy repetition in the beginning. Like you really just lay it on to not let anybody stop and ingest it while you're ingesting it all. And then you kind of shift gears from fifth gear down to third and go into the lesson of it all. I think that gameplay that you do is very interesting in the opening monologue to set yourself up to downshift. And is there a reason for that, or is there somebody that inspires you artistically? Because I believe good artists create great artists, steal and make it their own. And I think that's an awesome style that you have.
Thank you. No, I think that I'm kind of like learning as I go, and with each video, I just try to get it so that people are like, that's the best one I've ever seen. So I kind of just try different things, and I really like when I say I read every message that I get and every comment, I literally read every message and every comment. So I'm very receptive to signals. But I think that to be really truthful about it, there's a YouTuber by the name of Philip DeFranco that I used to watch way back in the day, and I used to love how he would deliver news like in a jump cut fashion.
Yeah.
Today this happened. Chip, just quick, like no natural breaths, no natural stops for breathing. So it's just like it was like somebody just blasting the news into me in 2 minutes that it would have taken 5 minutes if it was just like a single shot. And I appreciated the fact that he was able to digest an entire really long thing in a short period of time. So the jump cuts were inspired by him in my past. But as far as the evolving it into the lesson, it's like, that's kind of the whole point, is like, really what I want to do is drop the lesson. But all of this stuff is so ridiculous and insane. that's like I have to pull you in somehow. So I almost use the humor as like the Trojan horse to just giving you what I believe is the lesson anyways. And it kind of has to be quick and punchy at the beginning to grab your attention.
Absolutely. Mo's joining us in the chat room with the super cheer. Appreciate that, brother. I know you've been working hard out there. And everybody here we're 67 strong at Ben Hameen YouTube, still banned from Twitch for digital millennium copyright asshole acts or whatever's going on here. Big news of the day. Sal, no more up the nose, bend over, spread your cheeks, and get a COVID test. I'm going to plug it deep now.
Can I interrupt that really quickly? I don't want Sal's crackling to mess up this point.
Yeah,
Bobby, I'm looking at your t-shirts. They're amazing. I love
Thank you.
Facts Are Trash, Where's Hunter, all that stuff. You're missing one important shirt here. I think it'd be the best selling one of all.
Tell it.
You know the thing.
Oh yeah. Yes. That's a very good point.
You know the thing. Now the red team might get some people killed. That shirt might be the next MAGA hat, but I'm willing to buy one. I
actually do have a you know the thing hat. I just don't think I put it on a shirt, but I do have a hat that says you know the thing. That's a good idea. I'll make it.
I'm sorry.
No, I was trying to be part of the show and have Ben do his thing, but that's okay.
I didn't hear you. Is your mic broke?
No, mine's not. Everybody can hear me. The rip's not funny when you do it. You have a $17,000 mic in front of you.
That's true.
My dollar store headphones. It doesn't matter if they suck. I'll throw them away.
Yeah, I was wondering I like that inspiration, the rapid fire absolutely of that news because it just hits them, it blows your hair back a bit and you just take it all in and you're trying to get on one thing and the next one comes right at you. But I like that you walk the line and punch both sides. And that's what a true comedian should be doing, even if they have to get their own rhetoric in. At least you can still, rib them both because you kind of have to. Because if you go one versus the other, they're going to get you. If you don't make them laugh. It's strange how that dopamine shot of laughter can keep us in that gray area.
I loved Bill Hicks, the comedian Bill Hicks, and also George Carlin, because it's just like it wasn't even a joke. He's just telling you like what is true, and it's funny just in the fact that it is true. And that was something I love those two comedians probably the most because of that reason. It's like the subject matter alone is funny just on its own. It's like you don't even need a punchline. It's just like this is it. That's fucking insane. And it's just like oh jeez.
Big club and you ain't in it, but Sal, they're gonna get in it with the anal COVID test. How you feeling?
Well, now you know how usually the Asians pay extra for that. That's a thing. And they're gonna. I heard that they're also going to be giving the hentai anal, the hentai anal.
GG's got his Chris Benoit balls ready to go.
Excellent. One of the things I wanted to briefly touch about Bobby's comedy and stuff. So the George Carlin stuff, the Bill Hicks stuff, those guys are legendary. Where they they could literally have said things that have gotten people fired, destroyed, removed from social media, and people will laugh and they'll, oh man, this guy's legendary. And you come along and you have the same cadence, you have the same delivery, and they'll go, oh, who the fuck is this guy? You're gone. You're out of Twitter. Things people have done right now, it's not about wanting to laugh anymore. Now it's about wanting to point a finger, and now it's about making a villain out of someone, whether you believe in what they say or not. It's just if they're saying something different, now they're the villain. There is no apology. Even if they turn around and say, well, you know what? He was punching both sides. I'll go, no, but did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said about my candidate? Did you hear him? And now you're the villain. There is no backup. There's no backup camera for him. They can't figure out how to go back and say, I'm sorry. I want to listen to the whole thing. They would rather listen to the tweet somebody put. Did you hear what this motherfucker said? Here, hear this one-line tweet from his 20-minute fucking dialogue.
But how about the clip we shared just a couple hours ago that goes back Madonna, all of them, like blow up the White House, I'll kill him, punch somebody in the face, the dickhead from Stranger Things on his fucking Academy Award. Like, okay, you want to get punched? I'll lay you the fuck out, big man. And I'll get over on that shit.
Fuck, I will headbutt the fuck out of Hellboy.
So when they're trying to say that, but they don't want the comeback and the repercussions ever.
And that's why they go after, and this is I'm not slamming on you, but they're going to go after Bobby Sausalito because you know what? He's not a big celebrity.
Yeah.
Well, he's a YouTube celebrity. They don't know that because the people who are going after him aren't involved in that culture. Mm-hmm. They're getting it secondhand from, who they're getting it from? They're fucking the kid who's fucking tongue in his balls goes, oh, by the way, did you hear about Bobby Sausalito, what he said about you? And he goes, no, what'd he say? Well, first finish sucking my dick and then tell me what he said. And then he's like, well, he said this. And now he is fucking all enraged because not only was his fucking blowjob interrupted by his page, but now Bobby Sausalito said something shitty about me. And he doesn't know him. He doesn't know the culture. He doesn't know his fucking bit. He just knows that one line that was told to him. So now he has a villain to track down and make an example out of because he is the hero.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's sad because it's like comedy used to be this kind of like protected class of speech where it was just like, that's the point. Like that is the entire point, is for it to be uncomfortable. Like when I think about some of the stuff that you used to see in comedy, even 10 years, like 5 to 10 years ago, it's like, if you were to put that would be on the 5 o'clock news now. And it's just like comedian, like ruined forever. It's tragic because it's just like, how are you supposed to be funny if you can't say those things that kind of like make people feel uncomfortable? It's
our job.
It's sad.
Right. That's the comedian's job. And now we have to redo things and redo acts. Like the absurd is what it's supposed to be. You can't rein in the absurdity, right? The absurdist, if you will.
It's hate speech, which is not a fucking thing. There's not hate speech. That is a fucking made up term that doesn't even make any sense. It's really unfortunate. And it bothers me because it's just like, now you're forcing the natural flow of creativity to be hindered by being like, well, I don't want to get canceled. I don't want my livelihood destroyed. And it's just like, it takes all the spice out of that dish. And it's just tragic. I think we all lose as a result of that.
More than anything, too, I think a lot of times these people that do this and really the party of love, of understanding and everything, that's just a joke, literally not a funny one. But Bobby, the thing is too that we're wrestlers, so we understand because of the way the machine pushed certain people and hasn't. But just because the guy is lower on the card doesn't mean he doesn't know how to fight more than the guy at the top of the card. So in essence, if somebody said, we're going to go up and we're going to punch Bobby in the face, it's like, you don't learn how to fight when you get 100,000 Instagram followers. If you know how to go, you know how to go. Pop it on sale, bin, not so much myself. That's why I got into pro wrestling. They're very tough guys, but people will think because on certain levels, because we call them marks, they think because they never main event of WrestleMania, and I didn't either, but they think, therefore, their value as a human being, their toughness as a human being, their skill as a fighter is much less than somebody who is perceived to be a bigger name. That's going to be a hell of a wake-up call if somebody ever does it to you or any of these three guys. Me, they'll probably roll on me real easy, but that's okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you're agreeing they could beat the Thanks, man.
No, that is definitely true. It's definitely it's definitely something that I am concerned about going forward, because it's just like I don't even know what to expect. I don't know where the next shot is gonna come from, because it's like the bigger that you get, the more influence you have. It's like it's only inevitable that those types of things will come, and it's unfortunate. Like I wake up in the morning sometimes and I'm just like, is my account going to be clapped today? Like when I try to log into it, like, am I even going to have an account? It's like, I've been working so hard for this, and just at any time, somebody could just take it away.
You're at the mercy, right? People are telling us to go to Gab, to DLive, to all these up and comers, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the server is on Amazon, Microsoft, and they're going to do what the fuck they want to do. And if they unperson you, it's because you got to them, and that should further reinforce that we're on the right track, and they're scared, but they're terrible workers, and they don't. like taking Trump off of Twitter was a terrible idea, not just because he can bury himself there. You know what I mean? That gives them ammo to fire back on him. When you unperson them, they look 10 times more guilty of what they're trying to push, and they can't get an agenda over after that. If they let them stay there and use some good operatives to use them as satire and tighten the screws, they get a lot more mileage out of being the workers they should be. DGP, they stole it from your people, anal swabs for COVID.
Listen, I heard the Greek government is suing China for this because of gimmick infringement. Hopefully they can win because they need the Scarol. They're getting raped by the IMF for everything they got over there. So regardless of all the nonsense, yeah, man, look, you can't be afraid, Bob. You put yourself in a situation, there is no possible way on God's green earth that you can please everybody all the time. And especially in the world we live in today, the bizarre world where we live today, where the minority few make the loudest noise because of social media, and they get the loudest attention because they're throwing a temper tantrum on social media. Don't let that dictate where you're going to go, what you're going to do. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that attitude. A lot of people are walking on eggshells because they don't want to get casted to the side or looked at and say, hey, what are you saying? Oh, some transgender decided to yell at me because I used the wrong word, or I made a joke.
Transgender becomes the assistant secretary of the health department. You eat this fucking, you know what I mean? Come on.
I want to pile on top of that. I want to pile on top of that. You're talking about what you say or what you tweet or anything like that. This person, this is just yesterday. I know, and Bobby probably knows about this. An agent from the literacy agency got fired, not for what she tweeted, not for even what she tweeted somewhere else. The fact that she was stooged off by somebody else, that she had a Parler and a Gab account. That's the only reason this person got fired, not because of what she said on the platforms. So now it really is a social media score of not what you tweeted or what you put out there on social media, but what do you have the right kind of social media? That's crazy.
Yeah, that is nuts. The other thing too is people can get fired because of what their wife says. And there's been examples of that as well. It's like, that's not you. That's not me. I'm not that person. But those types of things. No, it's only gonna slip further and further away. And it's unfortunate. It's just that it sucks because it's like the government makes so many mistakes, yet in this certain example, because of that Section 230, they have this free reign where they can do whatever they want. And it's like the only way that we can solve that is by them taking that away. So it's like the same thing that we know that they're using against us is like, in a certain way, kind of like the only thing that can save us. If they can just take Parler off the web, that's just such a huge threat to free speech. It's just tragic.
And to misquote Tyrion Lannister, it's when you cut a man's tongue out, you're not showing anything except that you're afraid of what he's going to say.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Sal, could you say that again? Your mic was cracking a little bit.
Sorry about that. If you can you hear me better now?
You're good. You're a lot better. Where are you with the social media score as we start pushing to that, the adoption of are they going to come for you? Stevie's favorite poem, they came for this person and then there was no one left for me. It seems like they're going to be doing that across the board to artists like yourself, where you'll get to a certain point, and I agree with GGP, be unabashed, keep playing the game out as far as you can, because the more following you build, when they unperson you, that's going to cause more of a landslide against them, and maybe it'll only be 2 news cycles, but that's being the martyr in the new media system,
Generally speaking, the way that I kind of feel about it is like, I don't want to anger the social gods, and I go out of my way to try to color between the lines, because to quote Jay-Z, it's like, you can't help the poor if you're one of them. If I have no voice, whether or not I get to a point where I can sound off and people will be able to find me elsewhere, it's like, until that point is reached, it's like I kind of have to play the game. And it's kind of like one of those sad realities of life. It's just like, you don't want to go and work for money, but you got to play the game. It's like you have to play the game and you have to win at the game in order to move up in it. And that's the thing with me is like I'm going out of my way to already do this, where it's like I want to share something that I think is funny, but I don't, because I don't want to get clapped. And it's just like I don't know at what point I'll get to a point where I can just freely go, but I certainly don't think that I'm there yet. And I don't think that I'm at a point where where if I was removed, that it would make as much of a ripple as I would hope. So that's kind of why, like, I really kind of go out of my way to color between the lines for now. And that doesn't mean that I don't say that I cancel all of what I'm going to say, but I would say there's about 10% of what I would say that I don't, simply because I just don't want to.
It challenges you as an artist to reframe it to get out there. Go ahead, Gigi.
Well, what I was going to say is that scenario that you're presenting right now, which is actuality and is your life, unfortunately, is built in by design.
Yes.
Because your success becomes your greatest enemy, because the more popular you get and the more people actually pay attention to what you're saying and the more money you're making, what happens is now you have more to lose.
Yeah.
On the flip side, and they know this. So they it's like a good promo, like a good wrestling promo. Whenever you hear someone cut a wrestling promo, whether it's a good guy or a bad guy wrestler, they always build up the guy in the promo and then they chop him down, right?
Yeah.
To make themselves look better. So they're going to build you up through the platforms that you're on, through whatever you're dishing out, thinking, oh, you know what, I'm bulletproof. And then sooner or later, they're going to make you slip on the banana peel. And then they're going to say, then you're going to say, oh, shit, I need that Scott Oil to pay my bills, to pay my mortgage. You know what? I'll play by the rules. And then you're enslaved, whether it's the working force or whether it's the corporate giants that we're dealing with now. You know, at the end of the day, you end up becoming a cog in the wheel, and we have to try to beat that system. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part. And unfortunately, again, the society that we live in today, it's if people don't have to realize that if we all came together, we would have so much power. But unfortunately, they divide us with everything, whatever distraction it is, race, gender, sex, religion, whatever political party, whatever political view you have, whatever it is, they use that as a distraction, as a tool to keep us divided. And then when everyone's divided and fighting with each other, everyone's laughing on the other side of the fence all the way to the bank, because they're making money off of you, and people don't realize it until it's too late. So,
No, it's true. That is absolutely true. 100%. Our division is to, like, that's the thing. It's like with all problems in the world, it's like follow the money, and that's usually the answer. That's usually the motive to all things. And it's just like, no, that is absolutely true. And it's like, meanwhile, while we're all butting heads, being mad about Republican or Democrat, it's like the people that really run it, that pay off both sides, that own stock in Coke and Pepsi, they're the ones that are just like, this is hilarious. Like, look at these minions all just swirl around. Meanwhile, like
the illusion of choice, right? The illusion of choice, where 5 companies own all of media, 8 own all of what you eat, you know, and they're just split into these sub brands. So when we get kicked from Twitch, it's really Amazon and Jeff Bezos, you know, like at the top levels of where the money is. And we were asking this, you know, GGP made a good point, and you were actually cutting Triple H's promo about it's all about the game and how you play it, all about control and if you can take it. But who is going to be the big heel now? You know, you got to put heat on your heel to make your baby face off your heel. And they had the big heel in Donald Trump. Now, will they turn in the left, turn on themselves, make Biden and the Kamala, the Ugandan giant, the heels, and, you know, and go after them? And the other part I wanted to say too is, as a web developer, do you see in that profession the rise of Internet 2.0? And they'll still invest like Coke and Pepsi, but will Internet 2.0 be a new free speech zone, like rise of a dark web to become a mainstream?
Well, to address the second point first, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know that a theoretical new internet or a web 2.0, I don't even know if something like that would be even able to exist or even needs to exist. I think that there needs to be companies that are not woke that have large swaths of power, because
Silicon Valley and all them going to be the next big heel was kind of my point with Tim Pool and them going at them, where we saw the big Apple announcement the day after the inauguration. We were like, oh, it's going to be something about this, that, other. Nope. More affirmative action initiatives.
We have to, I think that we have to, I forget who said it the other day, or I think it was a buddy of mine that said it the other day, and he was like, this may actually be good for us because because people that are like really far to the left are not very loyal. And what happens is if you remove all of their targets, eventually they kind of start to face inward and start to smash each other. And I think that hopefully, if we kind of believe in the yin and yang of the universe and how things kind of go up and down, hopefully it's like it swings right, it swings left. Hopefully with this particular swing, it's like you got the oldest candidate in history that is clearly going to make mistake after mistake that's going to hit pretty much everybody in the pocket and in the face, probably more so than they ever would have realized had they not picked somebody that was like a little bit more, like mentally cognizant. So they may have overplayed their hands so much that this may be a huge boost back to the right. And I think that I try to look at it that way and just think like, hopefully this wakes up some people that are over there like, wait, Joe Biden actually sucks. I can't believe I actually voted for them. How did they convince me to vote for this guy? Holy shit, I just lost my job. Oh my God, like I'm watching my daughter plays college football and she's getting destroyed by some other guy. Like there's just so many things that could go wrong. And I think that I'm hoping that this violent swing to the left means that they overplayed their hand and that more people will wake up to this. And I think that if you look backwards in history versus trying to look forwards, I think that would make sense in the story. Like, could they have gone a little bit too far on this one? Could they have like kind of goosed the numbers to get him in there and then propped up this dude that didn't even know what he was doing? It's like, I anticipate more mistakes to come. And unfortunately, even though it may be a down period for us on Team Aware, hopefully it swings back in the other direction. And on top of all that, when you look at like the silencing of all these people online, when I first started using Facebook, I remember thinking to myself, like, how could somebody compete with Facebook? Like, how could you ever compete with Facebook, right? How could you ever compete with these companies? The thing that would make somebody compete is like, now I could see somebody having the sleeping giant awoken. You start to silence people like Donald Trump. All right, well then maybe people are going to start really investing in the other side. Whereas before, when they were kind of like pseudo neutral, it's like, who wants to compete? Facebook's doing a good job. Everything's fine. No big deal. So it's like, again, they may have overplayed their hand by getting a little bit too trigger happy. At least I like to hope that. And now companies like Parler, well, they're not going to make that mistake. They're not going to be on Amazon. And hopefully this guides us to a better place. At least I hope that, but I don't know.
You can hold in one hand and shit in the other. See what's.
I was going to say that's wishful thinking, and ideally, that in a logical world, you would think the pendulum swing would go either which way because of the actions of either side. But unfortunately, in the scenario where we're at right now, I feel that the Republicans and the people on the right are too much of a bunch of pussies to do anything about anything. They're too busy counting the money they're making with the Democrats behind our backs to realize that, hey, this guy in office is senile. He doesn't know what he's doing. Within a matter of a week's time, gas already's gone up 20 cents, a barrel. I mean, not barrel, 20 cents a gallon. So many people have lost their jobs because he killed the pipeline. Canada's suing us. I mean, they're a bunch of uncle fuckers up there, and they're suing us, right? and then on top of that,
thank you, Canada.
All right, and then on top of that, he's allowing men to compete with women, but meanwhile he doesn't believe in domestic violence. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, they say trust the science, but then when it comes down to brass tacks and simple biology, they ignore the fact of chromosomes and what an individual is like based on their DNA, just because they decided to chop off their pee-pee or grow a pair of tits. You know what I'm saying? Then that's okay for them to go play and people who are actually females who are actually working hard for a scholarship now are going to lose out to a male because of the genetics and because of science, but that doesn't count. I mean, everything that's been done right now in the last 7 days or whatever time as he has been president has been ass backwards. The Paris Accords, what the hell does we have to gain by anything like that? Right. None of this makes any sense whatsoever. Well, now, granted, Trump's worst enemy is Trump. And because he didn't shut the hell up and let his actions speak louder than his words, because he's an egotistical man baby, it came back and bit him in the ass. But in the last 4 years that he was president, he did a lot of good things that, unfortunately, the media did not put any spotlight on, because the media focuses on propaganda. And this is where I come into play, and I've said this before on past shows. Trump's in on it. And the reason why I feel that way is because during the 8 years of Obama, he legalized propaganda. So all the propaganda that was being spewed against Trump, all he had to do was sign an executive order to make propaganda illegal again. And then that would be the end of all the fake news in the media. But no, he didn't. So to me, he's in on it and he didn't care. He only cared about his pockets. And now we're going to see where he ventures to as far as, wherever he goes, whether he does a Trump News Network,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or he does-
let me just follow up with that, because everything you're saying there, popping on, and I'll pass it to you, Bobby, for whatever your thoughts are on it. We're talking about Biden, we're talking about Trump, we're personalizing all these different things that are happening and putting in, and we have these figureheads of Trump and Biden, even Kamala Harris, Pelosi, whoever else. It's legitimately just the system that is being built up to either reset or fail or whatever their plan that they trust is. We're distracted by all this stuff that, it's culturally killing everything that's been built up, nuclear family, all this stuff that they're preaching against. But I believe that that's a distraction for whatever bigger thing that the smart people, not the people we're seeing, but the smart people are placing all the chess pieces right now. Just my thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the obvious play, is that who is elected to the president for a short period of time that has to go through this theoretical, rigorous process where they're elected and then they're in and out in 4 years. They got to fight for it again after 4 years, whatever. Those people are elected, they're in, they're out. Whereas like the titans of industry, the people that own and invest in all the major companies, are never elected. And those things are passed down from generation to generation. And we're talking about like generational mega wealth that really that doesn't even know a country. If somebody is one of the international banking cartel families, they don't give a shit who the president is. It's
to them, bro. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's a complete distraction because we're playing checkers in the US. Meanwhile, they're playing like global chess with all of the countries combined. You think about how there's like 50 some odd currencies in the world. There might even be more than that. So it's just like, imagine if you had multi-generational mega wealth and you had properties and assets and banks in all of these other countries. This shit is not even a blip on the radar. You're just it's like you try to make some change at the top and it just ripples through. Now, unfortunately, all that we can see from the very, very bottom, which is where we're at, is the only way that we feel that we can influence it, which we may or may not be able to, is through these elections. But that's nothing. Now, so I think that they are absolutely in control of it. How we get up to the top, I have absolutely no idea. It's like, how do you get to the head of the snake? I wish I knew the answer.
Well, we were there. And AA Alexandrazan asked about your experience on January 6th. If your views matched up with Pat, he means Pat Miletich, UFC Hall of Famer, who was there at whatever they want to call it now, the freedom of speech riot or whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit. To me, that's what I've been calling for the last 2 years. Of people like, they built a gallows. You goddamn right, they built a gallows. And they like that's the warning of like, oh, how dare they? No, how dare you? This is what's coming for you. You can do all you want with Bull Man and Trailer Park Guy fucking walking out with the podium, but the reality is it only takes that amount to overrun a building and put the fear back in those people, and that's what they need more than anything, is that fear factor, bro.
Well, I maybe I would almost say no, and I think that a lot of people will probably disagree with me on this. I think that there is no more physicality to war anymore. I think that is an antiquated way of fighting a battle, and I'm sure a ton of people are going to rain down hate on me for that. You got to get the guns, you got to protect. Okay, fine. I think that the real war is an intellectual war, and I think that the way that we defeat these people is by changing the hearts and minds of many people. And I think that if you look back into history at wars and how wars are won, it's been hundreds and hundreds of years before a war was won by people physically taking over a space and then saying, you're not in this space anymore. That's like Alexander the Great type shit. Really what it is a bunch of people murder each other until one person no longer has the support of his or her people, and then they have to make a decision. They come to an agreement, and that agreement is you get this or you get that. It's not like physical takeover. So I think that the reality is that the only way that any of these wars get won going forward is not through storming one building on one day. It's by changing the minds of a vast majority of people so that they don't support it. How do we do that? I don't know, but I think that that's the only answer. I don't think that any fear, any gun, any one building, any one place, any one group of people, I don't think that's ever going to work again, personally.
Do you think it's this then? What we call in wrestling, and they joke with me about this too, no selling. Do you think if we just start ignoring them and we don't answer them and the talking heads just kind of go about our business to try to get the country moving, they'll go away? It's like they're shouting at themselves after that.
Yeah, I think that it's like, I think that there's kind of like, there's only two ways to solve the most major problems in the world. And that's by changing how people think about things, because there's obviously, what I've said in my videos in the past is like, there's more of us than there are of them. There's more good than there is evil. And
to change people's thinking, if you take grandma who's got $2,000 worth of ice cream in her double freezers and says, let them eat cake, and her feet are 4 feet off of a platform dangling back and forth, that's going to change things for the next fucking person who becomes Speaker of the House going, you know, I might not want to be a corrupt cunt who slanders everything and fucking uses the media to destroy my country. That's the only fear.
Allegedly, Bobby, allegedly.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
That is going to just empower them to get the next person in line. They got away with it. I'll get away with it too. It's not until you have that shock factor of fuck. See what they did to her? I don't want to be that fucking guy. I better listen to the people this way around.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know that that's possible. I don't know that we can win that way. Like when you think about it, the United States government spends $700 billion a year. We spend 2 or 3 times the closest countries on military budget. We have jets that don't make a noise, that travel at the speed of sound, and we got cloaking devices and I just don't think like physically going and trying to hang or hurt or anything, any person is going to do anything or set any example. I just don't think that that's the way to do it anymore. I think that we have to, like I said, it's an intellectual war. I think it's the only way that it's won. And it may not look that way now, but I think in the future, that's the only option. It's got to be mass understanding. It's got to be everybody being healthy, smart, intelligent, aware of these things, and us just literally fighting the information war for the long term. I think that's the only way to sustain this. I think it's the only way for the world and the future to be prosperous. And here's the other thing. The founders of the United States of America, when they wrote the Declaration of Independence, they were in their 20s and 30s. These were young guys. I'm 33 right now, and I just think to myself, like, if I was going to say something for the next 30 years, God forbid I have the opportunity to do so, imagine what could change in 30 years. A lot of things. So I just think to myself, like, if I'm going to go out here and be like, we got to fucking hang somebody or make an example or fight or grab the guns or whatever, it's like, imagine how much good I could have done if I said that it was fought intellectually for 30 years. And I really do think that it can be changed because there are more people that are good than bad. And I think that violence in any form, at any stretch, at any point is not a solution anymore. I think hundreds of years ago, maybe. And even though the kind of like the visceral humanness of us all is like, we gotta go. I don't think that's the answer anymore. And I'm going to do my best to thought lead in this direction where it's like, we can't do that. We got to be elevated. We got to go higher. How do you get the head of that snake? You're not going to get it by violence. These people have more money than God. It's got to be everyone just ignores. It's like if everybody stopped paying attention to money and money was not valuable and value was in exchange and gold or whatever else. It's like there's ways to change this. And I just don't think there's traditional ways. I think that they've created thousands of roadblocks there, all the obvious ways that we can't get over. What they can't change is the minds of everyone. And I feel like that's the only way out. Personally.
Ideally, you are 100% correct. Because if we all get on the same frequency, the same wavelength, coming together as a species, as a human species, would be very powerful. But unfortunately, a lot of the people
it worked out awesome for John Lennon. It worked out awesome for Martin Luther King. I mean, all that same trajectory really paid off for him.
Well, look, here's the deal. All right,
but they still did it.
They did it, but now different time. People don't want to think for themselves anymore. People don't want to use their brains. If there's an app, they want it. If there was an app for somebody to come to your house and wipe your ass after you take a shit, they would purchase it and they would do it because that's what we've become. If you've seen the movie Up, right? Not Up. I'm sorry, not Up. Wall-E. We see the fat humans in the chairs slipping their Slurpees, they don't move and they just sit in their chairs and that's it. That's what we're becoming. Okay, nobody wants to do anything anymore. There's instant gratification because of technology. No one wants to work hard at anything anymore. No, when we growing up, you're 33. We're all a little older than you. We had Dewey Decimal System. We had library cards. We didn't have the freaking internet at the access of our fingertips when we had to do a research paper or find out anything about anything, statistics about baseball players, whatever. We memorized shit. We knew people's telephone numbers by heart. We knew how to get from A to B without.
We were stealing Playboys like crazy.
Yeah,
like,
dude. You know what I'm saying?
Playboy. You guys never had to steal a fucking Playboy.
Oh, what I'm trying to say.
I did that. I'm not 23. I'm 33.
What I'm saying is this now. Unfortunately, the majority of the people right now, and I could be stereotyping and I could be wrong. Unfortunately, the majority of the people nowadays don't want to do anything. And I agree with you. If we all came together, I don't think violence is the answer. But what I do think the answer is this. No, we have to show those in power that they're in power because of us. And they're there for us, not for their pockets. And we need to show them that, hey, if you get out of line, you're going to get a little smack. And not a physical smack, but there's going to be consequences. There needs to be fear of consequences. Nobody in politics is above the law. We need to grind that into their heads. I mean, the forefathers, the reason there are forefathers is because they revolted from tax on tea going from 2% to 3%. Meanwhile, some ass clown in government wants to tax us for driving our cars now. They're saying they want to propose a tax on mileage on our cars. For what apparent reason?
Well, it's because they want to push to driverless cars, and your license is going to cost you $2,000, and unless if you want to drive your own car, still all that shit, man. It's all the slow, this big reset, the $300 trillion plan, AOC banging Billy Ray. It's all in there. Sal. At the end of the day, if you had to steal one magazine, Playboy, Penthouse, Swank, Puss Busters, or Hustler, which one are you going for?
Fangoria.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
Who's the heel? That's just as easy.
Who's the heel? Who's the heel we got to build?
Okay. So now, again, there's a lot of different opinions. I've always been of the mind of the fact that, okay, everybody right now, there was a lot of jokes going on when the Antifa thing and your side and there were your side, our side thing. And I was like, your side has your emotions and your thoughts and your feelings and your inclusivity. Our sides have fucking guns. Okay. A lot of cool kid memes going around. We're the tough guys. They showed this guy coming in smacking Antifa dudes, or all these Antifa guys, purple hair and fucking face mask running in, getting swatted down by some old man. There was tons of videos we watched, and everybody was like, everybody laughed at him. The thing is, there's a part that he's correct. It's not the old government, like the old spooks, FBI, CIA and stuff. Easy. It was like, it's not the same thing where it's like, they don't like you, so you get run off the road and you're killed. They don't do that anymore. Now it's you know what? He actually said it before. He's afraid he's going to wake up one day and his fucking bank account's shot. It's tapped. He's going to wake up and he can't get a credit card. He can't fucking rent a car because his tax score, his credit score is the fucking drizzling shits. And he's been working on it his whole life. Guy's had 800 in his score. Now it's a 333. And they don't know why. And well, sorry, dude, fuck you. You can't have it. You can't have this. So, okay, great. So now they've killed him because now he has to struggle to do whatever the fuck he wants to do to live. Okay, so there's that. And now they fucked him. He can't get on a plane to go to do a gig over there because they want him to do a live talk because he's gotten so popular. They want him on stage. And now
not even over there. You can't go. We saw that story today. They want national testing to go between states to fly. You got to have your paper to go do it. No, go ahead, Seth.
So Yeah, so all this. So yes, the government has changed. It's the gentler, the kinder, gentler son of a bitches who will they'll kill you. They'll let you kill yourself because you'll have no other option. Okay. So now that being said, the fact that in this day and age where everybody will talk shit to anybody on the planet because they know a lawyer is a phone call away and I'll sue. They know. Oh no, what's he going to do? Smack me? Yes. Yes, you need every now and then somebody needs a smack in the mouth physically to get your head on straight. Okay? And I know it's a different world and but we didn't, and I'm gonna do that, the old man thing. Get off my lawn. We didn't have this bullshit when we were younger. You fucking mouthed off and you got cracked in the mouth. Either you kept talking shit and you kept getting smacked in the face until you shut the fuck up. And then you learned, well, you know what? That sucked. I don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
So, I understand. I understand it's a different world. To lead an intellectual coup would be amazing. The only way you're going to get it is to influence someone into an uncomfortable position they don't want to be in. Telling someone, because again, like I said to you before.
You mean the kind of influence where they catch you in a Chinese mansion with 12-year-olds dressed in lingerie while you're invested with Jack Ma and his business partners who are billionaires that come up missing, that type of way?
Well, that is a bloodless coup right there. The only blood that came from those children's buttholes, allegedly.
Well, they were just testing for COVID. So,
but that's the thing. So again, you're at this situation where you know what? It's all bloodless because they're all sneaky sons of bitches. Now, what you're saying, Ben's view on this is so now you have somebody in office and the corrupt fuck before them gets fucking strung up and they go, ooh, they're doing that now. That's a thing. Even though we have measures against it, we've pushed it so far that those measures no longer apply to us. Our security will no longer stand for us because they don't even believe in what we're doing because we have pushed them that far over. And all you need is one. And that's the thing. You don't have to keep sustained violence. It's just one well-placed strike. And then you can go back to the kinder, gentler. We can talk about this later.
Yeah, it's not a
fucking cut this guy's head off.
It's about who you make a statement on.
Well, I might side a little bit with Bobby on this one because
I don't agree with that.
You go back. There's a lot of points of no returns right now, and yeah, I would have to say we have to be careful. It's not like being the bigger person, but I believe no selling and winning. It's almost like I said, when someone's talking to you or dragging you down or tweeting at you or doing anything these days, and you just ignore them or even mute them, they go away because they know they're just speaking to themselves.
Yeah.
It hasn't been tried yet. We've been feeding this beast for 4, 8, 10 years or however long.
Yeah, but on the flip side, Stevie, I got to say something to your point. You're not wrong. But on the flip side, here we go. They pull this out of their wazoos with the freaking COVID-19, right? They make it seem like it's the end-all, be-all virus that's going to take out the planet. To me, it's just another flu. It's a real virus, unfortunately, and, it is what it is. But in the meantime, they lock us down, and they take away our right to work out, go to a park, go for a hike, do anything to keep our immune systems in check, right? We can't go outside. We can't get the vitamin D that we need. Doctors come out, they say hydrochloroquine, vitamin C, vitamin D, club soda, all that stuff helps you. They blacklist everybody. They put everybody in the corner in timeout. And now they're coming out and they're saying exactly what these people said 8 months ago. Now, all the statistics that come out is proving what the CDC originally said were wrong, saying that there's a recovery rate of 99.5%. Kids who are under the age of 25, it's 1 in a million that they can die from this. The mortality rate of people of 70 years old and older is less than 1%. Kids who are in grade school is like less than 0.00004%, which is ridiculous why we shut down the schools. Now they're saying we have to reopen the schools. Conveniently and coincidentally, all these governors that were saying that we need to batten down the hatches and lock down all the businesses, are saying we need to reopen this up and start up the economy again, or else everyone's going to fail, which was Trump was saying months ago. And Dr. Fauci was saying months ago about, oh, kids don't need to be in school. Now he's saying kids needs to be in school.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right there.
Wait.
What date did that change? What date did that all change?
Right after the inauguration. But what I'm saying is this. The people, listen to these talking heads. Listen to these Muppets in power, right? Then they're saying, oh, you guys can't open your salon. Then the Wicked Witch of the West in San Francisco goes and gets busted in the salon. Then we have that dumbass mayor in New York gets caught in the gym a couple of days ago, right? When he was shutting down all the gyms in NYC, saying no one can go work out. And then the governor in California going out eating with his friends without wearing a mask when he was shutting down indoor dining, right? They get caught doing exactly what they said people can't do. And these people don't put their feet to the fire. They hear their rebuttal. Well, do as I say, not as I do. Or I need to go work out so I can be healthy to give you people the news. And then you have this girl, the Wicked Witch of San Francisco saying, oh, well, you know what? It was a setup. It was a setup. I was set up. No one apologized for their actions. And yet these people don't care. They don't care. So how can we ideally and mentally change the world when these people are getting lied to their face? And then when the lie comes to the forefront, no one says anything. No one acts on it. No one says, you know what? Enough is enough. You guys told me ABC. You're doing XYZ. Enough. No one cares. That's the problem. Everyone's comfortable in their lane.
Yeah.
You're not wrong about that, but I can certainly tell you that we're not going to change it by saying that we should all gang up and hang one of them.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that either. But at the same time, those in power, if they don't have any fear of consequence, but they're going to keep doing what they're doing.
I just think that we have to recognize the pure power of not only our own beliefs and what we think is feasible, but the fact that we're out here broadcasting, right? So if we have a pessimistic look at this and this can't happen and I don't believe it and everyone is lazy or everyone is complacent or no one's doing anything or nobody cares, we're just perpetuating that defeatist attitude that it's not going to go in our direction. And not only that it's not, but it can't. When in actuality, I think that a lot of change takes a lot of time to marinate. When you think about this as simple as myself, my message is this message, right? And 4 months ago, nobody cared. Yet the marketplace rose me up so that my voice could be multiplied, right? And then somebody in my connections connected me to you guys. And here I am now reaching your audience. So this message is being lifted by the market, pure and simple, right in front of our face to make that positive impact. So that's what I'm going to try to do with the ability to broadcast, because people are going to watch this and people are going to listen to this and it's going to ripple through their psyche and they're going to pass it to hundreds and hundreds of people. So even if we believe that it may be this untenable goal, we should be out here at the very least broadcasting optimism in that direction. Because if we're just like, oh, we're fucked, like we're fucked forever, no one cares. I think a lot of people do care. We're just not doing as well of a job to fight against what they're giving us, because the destruction that they're putting out on us is working. And they're destroying us financially and in the public square. Yet we're not destroying them financially and in the public square. They're removing us by using their powers where we're not doing the same. We're like, let's use physicality, where it's like, that's not a solution. So it's like, you got to fight. We have to both come to the fight with the same weapons. And I think that they're using financial means to destroy people, like cancel this advertiser. Okay, if we could get people to stop watching the mainstream news, there would be no advertisers there. The news goes away. The news changes. It's the money.
There be with no heel that everything's gonna crash down.
One person can solve all this. One person. Sal has inspired me, turning me on to this one person.
Carol Baskin?
Come here.
Oh, FDR.
FDR, though, he's going to take us.
American badass.
It's good sign to go. And please, Bobby, I hope we didn't.
We need FDR. I got the FDR blanket. We need FDR American
and
badass.
what did he do? And when did he get his attention? When he fucking grabbed that dude.
Okay, that's not a good example.
Exactly
sorry.
the point.
Bobby, I don't want to put you
got
off
to do.
because
I'm sorry, Bobby. That wasn't a good example.
It's okay.
Two Christian guys going at it, and Sal and I, the atheists, well documented, and we separate on that path of righteousness or what have you sometimes to be a little bit extremist, but your views are just as valid here as well. I'm not trying to beat down and be like, because that's what the Conspiracy Horseman is a free thinking platform. So we need to hear that. But let me meet you in the middle. What if I was really passive and I just went up to her and gave her a nice hug and then I just kept hugging her stronger and stronger? Would that be less? Would that middle there where I just
might be effective
or crush the dust and I just bear hug her to that? Is that
I just think that sorry to cut you off. I just want to leave it like I just want to leave this last kind of thought on that idea, or this next thought is that like I think that the vast majority of people underestimate how powerful their own words are, not only to themselves but to other people, and the true effect that has on the way that you think, the way that you approach and handle every situation, and then even more so when it gets broadcast outwardly, and how a single person
are you dabbling in spelling right here and talking about the mysticism as well, or are you just talking about the power of words and whatnot?
I'm just literally talking about, like, my dad told me a long time ago, I was saying like, oh, I'm never going to do this. I can't do this. And my dad was like, be careful what you say because you're listening. And it's like, we're out here saying like, we're beating ourselves, like we're counting ourselves out of the game. And then on top of all that, there's thousands of people that listen, hundreds of thousands. And then it ripples to the 3 people that they know. And it creates these conversations. I think that we grossly underestimate the impact of our own words, especially ones that we put out. And we have the ability to change the hearts and minds of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people going way into the future with this recorded information that will stay here forever. Imagine if one of us has some videos a year from now that just blows up to the nuclear, and people are going back and diving through all of our content. And here's this thing a year ago. Think about how many people that could affect. So I just would encourage us all to be more careful with our words and be more optimistic, because I do believe that all great changes come through little nuggets and little ideas like this, and the belief that they can go really far. And if we're pessimistic, or we're anti, or there's no chance, or everybody is this, we're digging ourselves into a hole. Even if you believe that, or if you think that, if we can just flip it to the optimistic side and say, how do we move forward instead of what sucks about going back? And I would just say that with this beautiful platform and the people that you're reaching, a lot of people are listening very intently, and you have far more power than I think that you realize, even just even within yourself and the conversations that you have. That's the only message that I want to get out there, is like, we can really change the world mega if we believe that way. Because the people on the other side, let's call it the left, they're doing that. They're like, we're virtuous. Everybody is so stupid over there. We have to do the right thing. And because so many people believe that it's right, that's why it's growing. They believe it's right. So we actually probably are right. So let's push that, and let's use this precious time that people are spending listening to it, endorsing those types of things. That's my message to the world. If I was to die tomorrow, I would want that to live on, you know?
Plaja, our video editor, is in the chat right now. Take that from where his dad said and gave that great advice. That's our hot clip of positivity for this show. Absolutely.
You're not wrong, Bobby, by any stretch of the imagination. And the 4 of us here are being free thinkers, on top of watching all the bullshit transpire, because dealing with the politics and bullshit in wrestling locker rooms for years and years and years. It's become like our sixth sense, when we can see something being orchestrated as a work and not actual reality. But my dilemma is just that when you put too much faith into something that doesn't have any return, sooner or later, the fine line between insanity, you keep doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result, thinking you're going to get a different result. It's because people are allowing themselves to get distracted by all this nonsense. And I agree with you. If we all
like religion,
exactly, like religion, like sex, like politics. At the end of the day, Democrat, Republican, there's no such thing. It's not red or blue. The only color that fucking matters on this world is green. That's got all. And what these people are doing, is they're banking on both sides of the fence, and they're doing it at our expense. And we keep falling for it. It's like Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football. I don't know if you get that reference.
Yeah.
You're kind of young. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, but people keep falling for it over and over and over and over again. Like the 75 million people that voted for Trump, right? These diehard people on the right, that Trump's our savior, Trump's this, Trump. No, he's not. He's not, right? And then the other 80 million that allegedly voted for over and over, and even the dead people that voted for Biden. You know what I'm saying? He's our savior. No, he's not, bro. No,
right.
He's not. The guy can't even put a pen in his pocket. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know what he's signing half the time. So
Facts.
I mean, it just behooves me to think that these people are actually vested in these two individuals. And then I sit back and I say to myself, this is the best that we have to offer. Really? Like this is what we're hindering on? Some senile guy who likes tapioca pudding and some other orange guy who is a big man baby. I mean, I'm like dumbfounded where we are right now. It's like Stevie says, Idiocracy, the movie, is now a documentary.
Yes, and that is true. And again, and you're absolutely right about that. I'm with you 100%. And I think that what that does and what our awareness to that, and everybody generally agreeing that that's true. Hopefully what that does is say, all right, now we're all aware. We're all on the same page. This guy sucks and this guy sucks and that somebody else is winning. How do we use this to our advantage? Because typically moments of great depression, moments of great beatdown, when everything is the worst, that's where you have the greatest opportunity to kind of like jump off the bottom and have a really hard spike upwards in the positive direction. So that's the thing, is like, we all agree with that. So how do we use this going forward? It's like, how do we spend time talking about solutions instead of what is? If we can spend more time doing that, I think that we all win. That's the thing. And it's not just like, it's not like, oh, like rainbows. It's like, all right, like, yeah, everything's a bag of shit. Either we're dead and that's it. And then we might as well just fucking talk about nothing, right? Let's just talk about, what if it rained today. But if we do believe there's a way out, then any time not spent and invested into that is otherwise like kind of a waste of time, That's why it's like I try to get any conversation that way, because it's like, yep, it sucks. All right, what are we doing? What's next?
The last big guy who was talking solutions, that didn't end too well. That was
Bobby, just to add something onto this conversation real quick, I think the system itself is also the problem. And the system being that since we're young, we're trained through the school system, through the career system, through our parents beating us up with their sandals or their wooden spoons or whatever to obey, to conform. They don't teach us in school how to become educated. They teach us how to take orders. They teach us how to become workers, not how to become business bosses. You know what I'm saying? So people need to get out of that mindset. But because you're beaten from day one till whatever, that, hey, you got to do it this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, you get accustomed to it. And that's, I think, one of the problems. Like in America right now, there's so many different people, black, white, yellow, red, doesn't matter. I can personally guarantee you the majority of people in the United States and in the world are not racist anymore. All they want for themselves is a better life for themselves and for their family, and for their children to have a better life than they had. Now, that is not displayed through the mainstream media or the tabloids or the papers or social media. Everything is based, like we said before, on division through race, through religion, this, that, and the other. And unfortunately, perception is reality. And that's where we're stuck. We need to find the code to break the matrix in order for us to move forward as a society. And I really think that's why the enlightened aliens that allegedly are around this world haven't come by. You know what I'm saying? They see Earth and they make a quick U-turn. Fuck that shit. Like we hide from the Jehovah's Witnesses. That's how they're hiding from the human species.
I think the only way out, I think the only solution to this is through thought leading and intellectual conversations about these topics. Because if you look at the mainstream media, like if you look at what's on television now, well, things like Netflix and things like YouTube and things like the internet are shaking all of those things up. And you're actually seeing more views online than you are seeing on mainstream TV. So I would say that the winds of change blow lightly, but as long as we continue moving them in the right direction, we can pick up speed and momentum. So yes, that is what has happened now, but I do believe that we do have the ability to change that individually in small increments over time. And I think that in a lot of ways, if you're looking for it, you see that those things are happening. And here's the other thing. I grew up in that, and I grew up in a very be a good employee type of environment, yet I managed to make it out. You guys did, yet you managed to make it out, right? So it's not completely and totally hopeless. In addition to that, as the young parents, as the 25 to 35-year-old parents, the people that are like right in my generation, our generation, those people are there teaching. We have the ability to influence them right now while their kids are 5, right? So again, it's like, here we are at this moment where we could really turn that. And that's what I'm saying is like, it all happens through the conversations. It's like that small conversation that you had with a person that has a 5-year-old son or daughter right now could change that kid's life forever. And if we have those things first, then it's like, well, just like that, there's not as many kids in public schools. Just like that, they're learning online. Just like that, they're homeschooled. Just like that, you got the charter schools or whatever else. And just like that, things start to change. And again, the money thing too, it's like they're defeating us by economical means. They're defeating the truth by shutting down your ability to earn money. Well, we vote with our money by what we buy and what we do. It's like, if you think Amazon's bad, don't buy stuff on Amazon. Tell people not to buy on Amazon. Buy local, whatever is the case. If you don't like what's on the mainstream media, tell people to stop watching the mainstream media. Don't buy a Wall Street Journal. Don't buy a New York Times. And just like that, it starts to shift. And it's like when the money goes away from something, a company that thrives on that money and needs that money, which all companies do, if CNN wasn't getting eyeballs anymore, they'd switch it up right quick. They wouldn't just keep pumping shit with no one watching and a losing base. They would have to change their tone. So that's the thing. It's like those little conversations. One person stops watching CNN, 2 people stop watching CNN, 3 people, and then it just starts to shift. And that's the type of thing where I think now is this very fertile moment where that could happen.
And we love these little conversations here today. And I got to thank AA Andreessen for putting Bobby on our radar, man. Follow him, Take Naps on Instagram. What's the merch site so we can get some of that great merch too, man?
It's bobbysauce.com. Bobbysauce.com.
Dude, you're welcome. Open invitation anytime. And if they do unperson you, you got us to back you up. Unfortunately, you said we can all get out. We're in the wrestling mafia. Once you're in, bro. We're doomed. So you're our hope and guiding light, and I appreciate that thought leader. I really like that thought leader. I think that's someplace that we really need to go, and it was a great phrase coined here tonight that you put out there. So thank you so much for joining us and bringing great conversation. And please keep pushing your art, your comedy, and we'll keep supporting and sharing it.
I appreciate it.
Pleasure. Help me, Bobby Sausalito. You're my only hope.
we can help ourselves if we only believe and we keep having conversations about it.
Agreed.
That's how we keep this going. We can do this. They're not going to. I'm not giving up. If you guys don't give up and we all don't give up, we win. That's it. I think.
We're going strong here. 68 live as we close things down to not Twitch, YouTube, Ben Hameen channel. Appreciate you guys following us over here. Stevie's your mic working okay? You want to say anything on the way out? What are you
talking about? I'm back though.
You can go over to forceusa.com/Stevie and make yourself better this week, or StevieRichardsFitness.com. Make sure you're staying healthy. That's the best thing you can do to battle COVID and not put on that freshman 15. I had a couple people hitting us up saying they blew up. Hey, do something well for yourself this week, not just mentally, but physically. Go to the store. Don't buy 3 bags of chips, buy 2, and maybe throw a salad or 2 in there on top of it, man. But we're working out hard in the Stevie Richards Fitness Hacker Hameen Media Group. A lot of new people signing up, so please join us. Anything else, Stevie? Podcasts going on?
You pitch my stuff better than me. I just didn't want to take a chance on the mic going out.
You can check out Christy Mana's Career Junkie podcast. A lot of great guests from Hameen Media Group crossing over, talking about their jobs outside of being podcast producers in our community. Just doing great stuff, producing every day. And I'm going to use my massage gun that you sent me later tonight to do a COVID anal test. So I'm excited about it. Sally, what's going on with the Horror Junkyard right after this, man?
Check's going on. We got there's a game, and I don't remember what it is. It's a horror survival game, and actually I recommended it, but now I can't remember. So go over there, do that. You know where our bullshit is, so go do that too.
They're still on Twitch, you guys. Twitch.tv.
Yeah, we're still on Twitch, which is funny.
Hey, Bobby, maybe you want to
be
be some sort of expert witness, because we do have a case of voter fraud here in the Hameen Media Group. There was a Producer of the Year award that's been contested. Chuck from the Horror Junkyard versus Matt Gage, who's one of the producers for Hameen Media Group. So we may have a trial. We may have
one of the hardest working producers.
I will preside. Over
new $5 face slap trophies being made, and I mean, there's a lot up for grabs here. There's a lot at stake.
Listen, I will forfeit. I'm the judge right now. I will forfeit that position to you if you're available.
I'm down for it.
I if I have to, what's that thing when the lawyers say they can't do it? They don't want somebody in the jury
recused themselves.
Recused. I would like to recuse Bobby out of the judge position, please. I would like to point that out. That it's obvious
because you wanted to murder people about 30 minutes ago.
I'm gonna
well,
run.
You know what? That
Bobby
just means I'm bringing a fucking head on a stick to this trial because I need to get people's attention.
I'll hit Bobby with the filibuster, and it'll be all over once.
When Chuck puts up the protest about being producer of the year,
Chuck, let's get this straight. No. I know there's going to be some.
I heard he looted a few targets, as a matter of fact, and he was protesting.
Well, he needed some rubber bands to put onto his Honda Fit. You know what I'm saying? So it can go.
Oh, as we get the squirrel.
Do you believe a guy actually drives a Honda Fit? Come on.
The guy he's being environmentally sound.
Yeah. ProWrestlingTees.com/Greek God Papadon /Stevie Richards /SEG shirts /your throat /Bin Hameen infidels. It's the conspiracy horseman at Take Naps, and it's the best way to wake up. Punching both sides with satire and parody. It's Bobby Sauce. It's the conspiracy horseman infidels. HackerHameen.podbean.com. YOLO.